Hello, this is Deidre and Johnny Mobley
Junior
Jr.
from Pillow Talk After Dog Night Night.
Night Night. And so this episode is going to be, we're talking about trauma. And so if this will trigger something within you because of traumas that you've dealt with, we are asking you not to watch this episode. Because we only want to help and not harm.
Right.
And so we just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. We do talk about traumas that happen in our life and share some other, issues that we have talked to other couples about or just, talked about before from dealing with someone or, who've had some issues. Again, so if you've dealt with trauma and maybe haven't healed from it or something
or
like
gotten
that.
Help from
right,
it.
or gotten help from it and are in a healthy place, we just ask that you just skip this episode right here, okay? We just want to make sure that you're safe and that we have done our part responsibly to tell you what it's about, okay? Stay safe and be blessed.
You are the one I want. You are the one I want. I want you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Only you.
Pillow Talk. Moments with the Mobleys.
What's up, everybody?
That's not how I sound.
What's up, everybody? This is Pillow Talk. Moments with the Mobleys. The night version. I am Johnny Mobley Jr.'s wife, Deidre Mobley. And this is my husband.
Johnny Mobley Jr., Deidre's husband.
What? And we're just something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose. Greetings, accolades, and blessings.
You forgot salutations.
Salutations.
Ooh, you almost
Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings.
You almost did good, honey. I'm so proud of you.
You heard that? You heard what I had to say?
Yeah.
So if y'all didn't notice, we was switching.
We was trying to switch places,
Yeah.
y'all.
Switching places. And, I don't know why I'm doing that. Why some girls do that?
Do what they do, man. Where you see girls do that at?
That girls do
Because
that.
you're a whole man and you just did it.
Yeah, it be on TikTok. They be doing all kind of stuff.
You watch TikTok too much.
It be some interesting stuff on TikTok, y'all.
We watching TikTok.
Some of the stuff scared me sometime, y'all. We go do some TikToks. Well, I got to get ourselves together though. But it be some of that stuff be scaring me.
He be telling me we gonna do TikTok and
We're gonna do some TikToks. We are.
Let me wet my throat.
And then when y'all start telling me about it, because I'm social media savvy, but it's a whole nother levels, and my media manager looking crazy because I said that. But whatever, I do know. I know a little bit.
Sir,
I can be a little dangerous.
We're supposed to be doing a show, not fussing with people.
I ain't fussing with nobody, but what you ain't gonna do when I say I'm in social media?
This is Pillow Talk.
Even,
This is night. You sound like you day. Or morning. This night.
So I gotta sound like this.
Yep, turn off. Just don't sound like Heath Sweat. That turns me off instantly.
It's a sweat hotel.
Yo, we be driving.
Ooh, the sweat hotel been around a long time.
He be like, but why he got to sound like that, Deidre? Baby, I don't know, but they be calling, oh, Keith, I just love you.
Keith love everybody. It don't matter who called. Keith love. All right, baby. I love you too.
I love you too.
All right, baby.
We ain't on you, Keith. You make your money.
Oh, you the man now, Keith. You been around hustle, bro. They ain't gonna get it to you. You better get it.
So funny. So, Y'all, we gonna jump into this, and me and Johnny have some very, 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 very interesting conversations.
All the time.
Excuse me. And so when we talk about, what we're gonna do and what we're gonna, talk about and stuff like that, and just from past, I think conversations with people and stuff like that, conversations come up and situations come up that kind of get us to talking about things. And, when we see, other people may be dealing with an issue and stuff like that. For me, it's just interesting how people handle it. And sometimes you are so focused on what your relationship is that you don't realize that there are other people out there who go through just different things and different situations. And, I don't want to say that I'm insensitive to that fact, but we worked hard for our relationship to be what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And, y'all, if y'all don't know, Johnny and I, counsel and, other couples and stuff like that or whatever. And it's just sometimes situations that we are privy to that makes me, I think, like, forever grateful to God that, He has blessed us, blesses us with a great relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know we started somewhere. So we didn't start here and now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We started somewhere, and our journey was our journey, but it just kind of, I think that's why we're so passionate about trying to help others.
Yeah, so I'm going to interject this real quick because
Okay.
I don't think you thought I was going to say this today, and I didn't prepare you probably, but
Okay.
we've had drama in our relationship. So the trauma that we had in our relationship is that at a point in time in our life, in our relationship, I stepped out on my wife. And at that time, I thought I had great reasons of why I did it. But I think at that time I was dealing with, it's funny that I think I was dealing with psychosis. The emotional stuff from the reality of what things needed to happen. Mm-hmm. And that's why we did a podcast on the power of not knowing, man. Because if you don't know something, then you just don't react to stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a reason why everything is happening. So because I didn't understand, because I thought what I thought, that my wife didn't want me, that I wasn't a good enough husband for her, I wasn't a lot of different things, it made me stop trying to be that to her because of the different stuff that was happening. When I tried to talk to her, and I believe we talked about this on the daytime, pillow talk. But when I tried to talk to her, she cried all the time, and I thought it was because she was crying because she was unhappy with me. So I couldn't make her happy. So I didn't think I was man enough. While all the time you were dealing with being isolated, lonely, because you dealt with children all day. So at an early age, you have your first kid, and then you blanked 3 times, and then we had 5 of them. And a lot of people were running around calling you mama all day, wanting stuff from you, all this other stuff. And what we realize is because they were doing that, they were asking you for stuff, and you didn't even know who you were. You didn't even know if you wanted to be a mom. You didn't know none of that stuff. So instead of us we didn't have the wisdom then to actually talk about stuff or sit down and we handled it the way we did. And through the grace of God, we made it through, and our relationship is stronger than ever now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
You can say whatever. It's stronger than ever now because this is one of the things you got to understand. Your bad choices are not who you are. They're just bad choices. Most bad choices hurt people. Different levels, different type of people in your life, but most choices hurt people. Even it's self-hurt. It hurts somebody. Bad choices hurt someone. Mm-hmm. And you might not see the effects of it, the results of it right away, but that can cause trauma in a person's life. And if you don't deal with stuff, and if you just react because of your emotion and your feeling, that thing can become your regular life. And see, what people do is measure their stuff against what they see. So whether it be TV or somebody down the street or somebody on your job, you measure stuff and never look for what it is that you're supposed to be doing, what's custom made exactly for you. So you compare stuff. And that's not a bad thing because it gives you something to target after. But when you know it's not working, it don't feel right, then you need to move. And most people don't do that. They force it. Mm-hmm. So it causes the trauma that happens, you begin to live a life that's false because you react off of stuff and it becomes your normal because of stuff that happened in the past. So now you feel that you're in a great place because what happened to you won't happen to you again. So you react different to it. So let me explain what I'm talking about. So the trauma that me and my wife had, we had to work through that. We had to talk about it. It was a process. I had to be all right with her healing however long it took her to heal. It wasn't, man, you got to stop talking about that, man. I thought we was trying to get by it. Because it was great. We went through it and it was great times and great days. But every now and then, she wanted to talk about it. And guess what? We talked about it. Because I owed her that. It's our life. So I can't tell her not to feel what she feels. So when she felt whatever she felt, regardless if where it was at, what it was doing, if she asked me, we was talking about it. It didn't matter. But that's how her process worked into trauma that I caused. So we had to get to a place to where I earned her trust back. We rebuilt. I ain't gonna even say we rebuilt. We rediscovered and repositioned ourselves to build stronger, better, to put stuff in place so certain things didn't happen. We had to intentionally do stuff. So whatever we might have thought that was an issue, was a problem or whatever, we intentionally did it. So we initially just went back to just newlywed dating. It was all in, all the time, all over each other, the whole nine, because we knew that ingredient was going to give us the relationship that we dreamed of. So when we talk to couples who have had trauma in their life, no matter what it is, trauma is like a cancer to a relationship if you don't deal with it. Because you will aim and shoot at the person in front of you when it's a lot deeper. So I'm gonna let you talk from there because I want to go more, but I don't want to go no deeper. Why are you looking at me like that?
No, I'm just waiting on you.
I'll take it too long again?
No. Okay. You're fine.
So
I just think that it's important to say that that for us, I think what Johnny is trying to say is that you can't get past that trauma. If you put in the work and if you want to get past it and you want to get better, get healthier. For us, I think what's important to say is that, that happened, but I didn't immediately find out.
Yeah.
And so we went through rough patches, and that did happen, when we were going through one of those rough patches.
Right.
And it's like, okay, that was a secret that you were holding.
Right.
But I didn't know it. and we entered like our 10th year of marriage and had this amazing anniversary celebration.
Yep.
You remember that?
Yep.
We had an amazing time, and shortly after that happened, it was like that's when like the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
And for us, you know, and you know, we'll be completely transparent. When that happened, that's like, it's like there was one other time in our marriage that I told you that I had like an out of body experience, and that's with the twins.
Yeah.
Okay, when we found out that we were having them. But for me, that moment when I found out what was going on, it was like that was another experience. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you go through all these emotions.
Yeah.
I mean, and since you brought it up, you know, we can talk about it. But when you go through all those emotions, it's like now you start to say, okay, we just celebrated like 10 years of marriage. Was that all a lie? And I think I remember asking you that.
Yeah.
Like, was this all a lie?
And and a lot of people try to front, but that's a real question because I was holding something that you didn't know. Then in your mind you think, okay, this been going a long time. How long you been doing this? Is it just this one? Is the whole thing we've been doing together? That's a real thing. Right.
And so that was a question for me to you, like what are we doing? You know, like, was you faking the funk, as they say? Did we really have an amazing weekend, you know, and had a great dinner and, you know, and you know, stayed at a really nice hotel and had an amazing weekend? Like, we just celebrated like a milestone in our marriage. Like, when like, were you just putting on for me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember us having that conversation, but I also remember, you know, that I did share with you, like, that is something, that's a hurt that I'll never be able to explain to anyone.
Yeah.
But I also knew, and this may sound crazy to y'all, but I also knew at that moment that I wanted my marriage. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. Of course I was hurt. You know, I felt like I was betrayed. I felt like you held this for a long time.
Yeah.
And you never said anything about it. So did you really love me like you said you love me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you really here with us and being with our family because you want to be here, or is this a front because it seems like you're living like many lives? Like, do I really know who you are? And so that makes you question not only your spouse, but it makes you question yourself. Yeah. Like, you know, like, has my life been a lie? You know what I'm saying? Like, or has the past few years been a lie?
Yeah.
Because I know we hit like a rough patch where we felt like, why are we here? What are we doing? Are we gonna stay married? Are we going, you know, co-parent? What are we doing? So, but in that moment, I can honestly say, like, even though we had to go through the many times of, you know, talking about it, when I would want to ask you a question, when I would want to say, you know, do you love her? Do you want to be with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was so, you know, significant in that, you know, relationship, you know, versus what we have here in our life and all this stuff. So it's like you question all of that stuff, but even in me questioning, and even in me being hurt, and even in me being disappointed, and even with me knowing that I didn't trust, I trusted at that point like nothing about you.
Yeah.
And I'm giving this much because what I'm saying is that God can fix it. Yeah. Like, we didn't have a counselor, y'all. Like legit.
We didn't go to counseling or nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what the most powerful, the power was in. She told me to leave, and I said no.
And so, I don't even remember that part because
she told me
like, now when it does come up, I'll be like, I never told you to leave, and you be like, you did.
You said get and get out.
Maybe I just
and
didn't.
I said no, I'm not going. And she said it maybe 2 more times, and I remember her going in the room and getting in the bed and crying. And I sat on the floor, and she wanted me out of the room, and I would not leave the room. Now, at that time, I wasn't praying. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't in
You
those
was just
deep
real
tones,
bold because you couldn't have known what I was capable of doing.
But it did not matter. I remember telling you, Deidre, whatever I have to do, I don't care what you do to me. I don't care physically what you do to me, but I know we're supposed to be together. I made a mistake. And y'all, I was completely transparent. I was lying. And see, this is the thing. When I stepped out, not only did I cause her trauma, I caused the other lady trauma too. Because she was thinking something was going to happen and it wasn't. I knew it wasn't. So my decision caused trauma on 2 people. On 2 people. So that affected both lives. I don't know where she at, what she's doing or whatever, but that affected her. I don't know if her relationship is good. I don't know if she's married. I don't know nothing. But at that time, that put me in a position to say I had to choose. And somebody was going to get hurt. And I wanted my marriage. So I never looked the other way. Now, that ain't right.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
But it's the truth because I had to make a decision. It wasn't me trying to fix both parts. It wasn't. It was too late. I was where I was at, but I had to make a decision. And I said one prayer for her. Lord, help heal her. Help give her peace. Help her get over this. And then I moved on because I knew what I needed to do. Till this day, it was a fantasy. It was nothing real about it. And that sounds so horrible. But it was a fantasy.
Yeah.
It was not real. I'm going to tell you how you can tell the difference between a real and a fantasy. When your real find out about your fantasy, what decisions you be trying to make? What you be trying to fix? Your real or your fantasy? And that's the real transparency about that. So we weren't supposed to go this deep into this.
We weren't.
Because we supposed to be talking about trauma and how trauma
can affect
the relationship in all the areas.
Right.
But how can we tell y'all about trauma when we don't want y'all to sit here and look at us and be like y'all perfect.
They've never
we've never been through something.
They've never been through
and they
anything.
Just the greatest people. Now, y'all ain't wrong about that.
Yeah.
We are some of the greatest people. We are great people. We just made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
So where we are now, we getting better. We work hard at making good decisions. Yeah. We work hard at our relationship. Yeah. We work hard at everything that has value, that means something to us, that has an impact not only on us, but other people. So we work hard at that. But we'll tell you, the first thing we'll tell you, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
At all. We still mess up to this day.
Yeah.
But we good. But we good. But what trauma can do, the reason why we said it, because of how we talked about it, and we'll talk about the entire in its entirety on another podcast. But I wanted to explain the trauma that we had, because there's people that go through trauma who has been beaten. There's people who are kids who have been beaten their entire life. It's been people who been molested. It's been people who've been abused in all kind of different ways. It's things that happen. It's things that happen their entire childhood life, and then there's things that happen in moments. You get locked in a basement for whatever reason because you made somebody mad and you just down there for a month.
Or longer. That was a Lifetime movie.
We'll
talk about that at another time.
It was based on a real story, a true story. But the crazy thing is, it was her real daddy.
Yeah.
And then he went down there and he had a whole entire life with his daughter. She had 5, 6 babies.
Well, on the show, it showed they had 3 and 1 died. But you said you read the original story.
6 kids. So it was like an entire thing, but that was her biological father who did that.
But that's like you said, I think we used our situation, even though it's, it would still, be a trauma for us.
Absolutely.
But the thing about it is, in this instance, it could have turned out real bad.
Yeah.
It could have been real ugly. And we talk about that, but because we made conscious decisions I made a decision to forgive you. You made a decision to say, no matter come what may, come what, whatever questions come, whatever issues come as a result of my actions, I'm willing to stick it out and stay here and make it better.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you did. That's what I did. And even though, like, the trust was at none, zero, nada, nilch, none. I could say, is it raining outside? And he could go look and come back and say, no, it's not. And I would say, oh, okay. And then I'd go look.
Yeah, because she didn't believe me.
Right. But I say that to say this. If you don't deal with what, and I think I started saying this a while ago, if you don't deal with stuff is going to deal with you.
Yeah.
And so we made a decision to deal with it together, to talk about it, we might have had 3 or 4 good days and then had 2 bad days.
Yeah.
But things don't change unless you want them to change.
And the process was.
And be honest about it and be real about it.
Yeah.
And for us, that was our trauma. That was a major thing in our lives. But it also, what I'm grateful for is because if we didn't make the choices and the decision that we did in that moment, that could have altered the lives of our children.
So she telling y'all that because this is what the question that I asked her. I said, are you going to tell the girls? And at that moment, she didn't say nothing. Cause I don't even think she was thinking about the girls at the time. But once we got to that first step of what direction we going now, we made the decision we're going to be together. We're going to work it out. What direction are we going now? And I asked her again. I said, are you going to tell the girls? She said, no, I'm not. Because you're a great daddy. You're a great man. But right now, you're a horrible husband. So I took that because that was true. But she said she did not want to tell the girls. And I was so grateful for that because in situations like this, a lot of women use that to get back at their husband, the person who cheated.
Yeah.
And that goes for the woman doing it to the man and the man doing it to the woman. But our kids would not have turned out like they were. When our kids found out, we wasn't going to say nothing on air until we told them. But our kids found out, was it last year? Did Christmas just pass? Thanksgiving just passed. We told them. And it was a hush in the room, but we told them. And they looked at us like we was absolutely crazy. Some looks was like, whatever, man, y'all tripping. But it was true. And when we told them, it was a big pill to swallow. But then they looked at it and they said, well, y'all good. Well, y'all been good our whole life.
It was, what, 19 years later?
Yeah.
When we told them? Yeah.
19 years later, and they said it happened 19 years ago. And if y'all good, we good.
Yeah.
If y'all good, we good. Now, one of my daughters, the one that's not biologically Deidre's, but it's hers, she's hers. She felt some kind of way because of how she grew up and the trauma that she went through. So her perception was completely different.
Yeah.
Her reaction was, you better not hurt mama no more. And I took that. I was like, okay, I didn't, and I'm not. Mama, if he hurt you again, tell him. So her thing was, this just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what's wrong with y'all and why y'all good with it, but this just happened. And I was telling her, listen, that was a decision that I made back then. And she literally said, Daddy, I just thought you was perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, baby, I never was perfect. If I didn't do that, I still wouldn't have been perfect. But I am real, and I am a good person. I'm a good man. And I know that. So, but she took it different. So I'm explaining to y'all how this works. So the trauma in your life, it literally programs your mind to see things like that.
Yeah.
That you see in other people's life. So that's how she saw it, because she's been through that. She's been through somebody cheating on her. She's been through, infidelity in her relationship.
Yeah.
She's been through that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if that happened with her mom and other people, but she's lived it.
She's lived it.
So she don't know no other outcome than her outcome. That's all she know.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody told her how to fix it or nothing. Now, we've always been there, but she got trauma in her life that make her feel certain ways. So we working through that. We trying to work through that. But that's how trauma affects you. Trauma affects you to a point to where it changes your perception. So you think you good because of what you went through and how awful it was in the environment, but you're not in the environment no more. And you got a nice house now, and you got nice clothes, and then you put layers, and now you got all this stuff. You got a good job, and you done learn all this stuff. You got 10 years of all this stuff that you learned, So now you here physically, but you still down here mentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't got no relationship. You get a good man, you get a good woman, and you jack it up because it looks good, and in your mind you think it's too good to be true, so you sabotage it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that part of your life you never got any help with. So now you can see through different eyes and everything else. But that particular area, nah.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. And that's truth.
So the real y'all, and the only reason, I don't know what, God put this on my heart to share with y'all, but I'm telling you, trauma affects people now. Trauma affects presidents. Trauma affects senators, pastors, preachers, bishops. It affects everybody. Because you the president don't mean if you ain't dealt with that trauma, it ain't still there.
Yeah. Because
you on any public platform, any type of influencer, any type of whatever, because you do that and you do it well and get good response and results back from that, don't mean you have dealt with your trauma, because you locked it up and put it in. It's somewhere. Just nobody can see it.
Or as you said in your book, compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
And never deal with it. But the one thing, even though, we didn't know like all these fancy terms, or, we didn't, go and see a counselor and pay by the hour or nothing like that. But we made the decision. And I believe that that's when, the Holy Spirit literally guided us.
Yeah, he guided us.
Into building back up, our relationship. Layer by layer, piece by piece. And again, guys, this was, 2010? 2010. So. Yeah, about 2010. And, and it's funny because this is the first time we've told anybody.
Yeah. And we tell a lot of people.
Right, I was going to say.
Right now.
A whole lot of people.
We went from telling nobody to telling everybody.
Oh, bless the Lord. It got to be the Lord to
the
say.
Testimony.
Yeah, it helps other people overcome.
It
helps other people. And that's the thing that we have to understand, and is that, our lives aren't our own. Because when we make a decision to live for Christ, it's not just about sharing the good stuff.
No.
It's about sharing the, and to a certain extent or whatever, of what you tell of it, but just to let people know, to be able to, to sit here now and talk about it and not cry about it.
Yeah.
And so that helps me to know that we dealt with it. And I asked God to heal my heart. And I asked him to help me to learn to love you in a different way. Help me to learn how to trust you.
Yeah.
Even though the reminders kept coming.
Yeah.
Help me to, because it was him. And I'm telling y'all might be like, it ain't no way I'm gonna just find out and I'm gonna say, but I'm feeling like this and I'm feeling all this stuff, but I know I'm gonna stay with my husband.
So I'm gonna tell you, I want to say this because
Excuse me.
I was a person at one time who said when people say God fixed my marriage, I'd be like, whatever, man. But God fixed my relationship, man. Whatever. I was that person. I was the person that said stuff like that. And when he healed our relationship, when he healed it and we forgave. So let me explain to you why I say that, because that's why we ask 3 questions when we do counseling. And one of the questions is, what are you willing to do to make this work? Now, we know the answer we're looking for, but we want the couple to say it, and both parties got to say it. The husband and the wife, or the fiance, they got to both say it. Mm-hmm. So if they don't say that, we don't counsel them. If they don't say the answer we're looking for, we don't counsel them, because we need a platform. We need we need them to be able to receive what they say, and your words matter. So when you say certain things, I'm here, ain't it? Yeah. It sounds like you're being made to do it.
Excuse me. Your posture says it. Your words say it.
This the last chance. This the last time we go try it. Yeah. That's telling us basically you looking for another time, because this the last time, and ain't no telling how many times you said this the last time.
Yeah.
But you got to be to a place. When that happened with us, I never told her I was willing to do anything, but my actions showed it. We had a nice sized house. I could have sat in any other room. I sat in the room with her. Wasn't on the bed with her. I didn't sit by her, but I was in the room with her. Now, that was God that told me to do that. Because I'm in the house, and she tried to put me out, but I'm good. So I'm gonna just let her get over it. And then, that ain't none of that crossed my mind. I wanted to be back with her, connected with her. And the only way I could do that is to be with her. Even if we wasn't saying nothing, I needed her to see me. Yeah, she wanted to set me on fire, cut me, shoot me, hang me, all that. She wanted to do that, but I needed her to see me. Because I need all that to come out, because that's an emotion from what I did to her. But I knew our relationship was still there. So I had to sit in the room. My presence had to be there, even though she didn't want my presence to be there. Yeah. What I did to her didn't want me to be there. But her heart, Deidre, she wanted me there. Her spirit, she wanted me there. I knew that. So I responded to that, because I don't care how deep you are and how much water you done walked on. If you slap somebody in their face, you gonna get some kind of reaction. If you hit somebody, if you push somebody, you gonna get a reaction. You just will. And it's according on how severe or what level you do it on, it's according on what reaction you get. So I knew the reaction was there, but I knew my presence had to be there. Let me tell you something, man. At that time is when God told me who I was. During the time that my wife found out that I was cheating on her, is when he told me who I was. Crazy. So knowing who I was, not only to Deidre, but to them girls, that what made me make the decisions that I made. That was me trusting and believing exactly what God said, because Johnnie ain't knew nothing. He told me who I was, but then he didn't tell me how I needed to understand and get and learn to become that person who he created me to be. He just left me. Shouldn't say left me. He
He'll
just
never leave. No.
he let that marinate. He let that marinate. So once I understood that, and then I did exactly what he said. He gave me direct. Did exactly what he said, and I saw him turning it.
Yeah.
I felt him turning it. Made me crave to go find out who the heck Johnnie Mobley Jr. is. Because if God was willing to save this, and me feeling if he was willing to do this, then he got something greater for me.
Yeah.
And I'm around here worrying about what this flesh want to do, and got all these things going through my mind, and I need to get someplace where I can receive and learn and understand and have some integrity and move the way it was a complete life. When I tell you that was the time that transformed, stayed in the room. I stayed in the room. No matter what room she was in, I stayed in the room. When we went to sleep, slept in the room, slept on the floor, but I slept in the room. But I was there. I was there. To know that God is there for you and to believe that is amazing. I know he was there, but I didn't know it like that. He was there when I was making the bad decisions, when I was out there doing whatever. He was there with me. I just didn't recognize. I just didn't acknowledge him. I always said this. He always gave me this vision. People always say, God don't listen to me like that. He don't be there with me for me like that. And God gave me this vision to say, I hold you in my arms daily. But if you don't feel me there, it's because you got out of my arms and walked off. But he followed you with his arms open like this. Into the bars, go smoke weed, the crack house. He's there. He does not leave. But if you don't recognize, because people don't want to believe and don't want to change on that level. But he's real. And out of everybody you try to impress and be whatever, he's the only one who allows you to be who you are. And he accepts it. He made you who you are for a reason. But because you don't have a relationship with him, you just out there doing whatever. And you wasn't created to do that. He never leaves. So when I was there, he told me, I never left you, so you don't leave her. I never left you, so you don't leave your kids. I have a responsibility to you, and I created you in my likeness, so you have to respond on earth as me. And that's what I did, not knowing what the heck I was doing. See, you got to want it. Regardless of what you're going through in your marriage and your relationship, you have to want it. And what are you willing to do? Anything. Yeah. I didn't care. I didn't care if they just cut me, stab me, spit on me. I did not care. I was not leaving. I just wasn't leaving. So to know a God is living who is willing to heal and change stuff, man. Yeah. And then he put people in the earth. Right. If you just need a little help, if you can't do it, if you can't be in that place, if you need a little help, he's put people around on earth to give you that guidance and direction. So you got people who can counsel, who can get you to where you need to be at, who can help you get connected with who God created you to be a better you, to get healed from the trauma, to give you tools to do it. But if you never do it, and you got to take yourself out the way and want it. So yeah, if you want counseling from the Mobleys, you got to be willing to do anything. Anything. And we know a true and authentic anything, and then I'm willing to do anything. Yeah, we know the difference.
Yeah.
We know the difference. But once you say, I'm willing to do anything, that opens up something to allow you to receive what God has to tell you. So that's why we need that one key. It's other keys we need. We ain't giving you all that. We charge for this stuff here now.
I can't deal with you.
But when you say certain things, your words have power. So they open up and activate stuff inside you never knew. So when we ask certain questions, we got a reason why we do it. And I can promise you, I shouldn't say everybody, because I would say 99.7% of the people we done counsel, they done got healed and their relationship is better. Even the ones who was on the verge of divorce. You just got to want it. And 9 times out of 10, once they get healed from the trauma, 10 times out of 10, once they get healed from the trauma, and then they get the tools. Because after you get healed from the drama, you don't know. And that's okay. You don't know how to have a good relationship.
So you have to have something to put in that space.
You have to.
Place.
And we don't have to tell you everything, because the ingredients and the recipe for your relationship got to come out of the two people in the relationship. And we don't know folk like that. We just know this relationship and this recipe. So you got to have the basic stuff, like when you baking the cake, you got to have the eggs and the flour and the oil, and that's the basic ingredients you had to have. So in a relationship, you got to have
the brownies, and you can put the pecans in them.
You hungry now?
Okay. You weren't talking about it.
I wasn't.
Okay, it's okay. But a brownie is a form of a cake.
Yeah.
I just like brownies.
Okay. What's happening right now? Anyway, but the basic ingredients. So in a relationship, the basic ingredients you need is God and are willing to do anything. That's 2 of the basic ingredients you need. You need a couple of more.
There's a lot. Love,
there's
honor,
just a lot. Yeah. I would say the next one would be God, the willingness to do anything for your relationship, and then that big C word.
What's the C word? Cuss?
Prepare for the change. Oh, you got to receive it.
Cuss.
You got to receive the change, because stuff got to change. And then once that happens, and see, most of this stuff is already in you. So once it happens, it activates stuff in you, and then most people take off from there.
Yeah.
So people think we be doing a whole lot of counseling, and y'all be bringing the people after we get through the healing, and then and then they start seeing each other, stuff start turning, and then they make the big change and the transform into they're good. They good, because now their perception has changed. They're not seeing stuff through trauma eyes.
Yeah.
They're not responding to stuff through trauma eyes. So now they're good.
Well, I think what did it for me, Johnny, is when you said that God turned it.
Yeah.
And so we literally watched him turn it.
Like literally.
I'm talking about like
not
literally.
Knowing how.
Right. Not knowing how.
Not
say,
knowing if we had a
Don't know
belief.
how, but he did it.
Yeah.
Like he literally turned it, and and minute by minute, hour by hour, second, minute, hour, and then days. And so we owe it all to him. And we got to give it back. So that's what we doing. And of course, we put our spin on it and act up. But this is we've been through stuff too, y'all. So we just ain't on here, to make fun and laugh and act like we like each other. Because we've been through some stuff, and he turned it. And again, we made the conscious effort to do it, to say that we wanted more.
Yeah,
and we wanted to start all over again and build a firm foundation on him, and he honored that. So, amen.
Now, we done built some stuff that probably wasn't supposed to be built, and we had to tear it down. But, I mean, we done got better at this thing. So
lot better.
some of the stuff we build now, most of the stuff we build now is stay. But every now and then we put something up there, and God be like, what's that? And we ain't need that.
And now it's solid. Come on, let's go.
You always want to sing a song.
As a- You want me to sing?
I don't want you to say no solid.
What you want me to sing? La 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 la.
Have you singing falsetto? Ooh, say I can't say it.
What is it? What's the song?
You know what I'm talking about?
You know I'll make up something in a minute.
I don't
even
make up nothing.
Ooh, boy, I love you so. Never ever,
Even
ever
close.
gonna let you
You done heard the song before.
Have I?
You have.
Is it Trey Songz?
No.
Have
I
you
can't
seen
remember
it
the
for-
boy's name.
Singing falsetto. I don't know that. I ain't no sense in me trying to fake the phone.
I can't remember the name.
I'll learn it and give it to y'all the next time.
And the sad thing is, she probably
I am.
because she.
I'm not gonna stop until I learn it.
Well, listen, this has been Pillow Talk. Tell them where to find us at. Where they gonna find us at?
www.moments
What that
with
pause
the
was?
Mobleys.com.
And where they can push a button and hear this sound.
On YouTube.
Well, maybe bling.
That's that bell.
Yeah,
When
I
you
don't
hit
know
that-
what the sound
You
is.
hit that subscribe button. He made up this sound for the people bell. I don't know that that's on YouTube. However, hit the subscribe. You see that's where the bell at. And then, you can that's on they can see the moments with the Mobleys like the day shows. But for these ones right here, you got to be on Patreon. You can't go to YouTube to see these
you
ones.
got to pay a little something for this because
Yeah.
we talking about some
stuff. Yeah. But y'all can, still that's our website. All of the stuff, information concerning us is on the website.
But go pay the little money. I don't think we charging a lot for
Well,
it.
baby, if they seeing this, they done paid the money. So thank y'all for subscribing.
So if y'all
Patreon.
seeing it, tell your people about
Night.
Let them
Yeah.
know. Let's get it moving.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Let them know to subscribe.
It's
as well.
worth it.
It's worth it.
You buy a cheeseburger every day. Put $2 more with it. Come on.
That's like Zaxby's. I put it say we did buy Zaxby's.
Well, a
Or
cheeseburger.
Chick-fil-A type price. Yeah.
Yeah, we more like a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zaxby's. You go spend about.
But we're
$6,
living
$7.
proof that you can heal from the trauma. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Amen.
Real work.
You ready to go? You ready to feed me?
This has been Pillow Talk. After dark. Night. I am your boy, Johnny Mobley Jr. How'd it make you feel?
Warm and wuzzy. And I am your girl. Y'all, that's the insider. Warm and wuzzy. We're going to have warm and wuzzy t-shirts for the summertime.
Yeah, warm it was.
Yeah.
Who you is?
It's supposed to be warm and fuzzy, but he messed his words up. I'm your wife,
Who is? What's your name?
Deidre. That's who you want me to be tonight?
Deidre, Deb, Desiree.
You ain't even got to call my name.
I know. Come here.
Come here, girl.
We something like an ordinary couple, y'all. We something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
We finna be out, y'all. Peace out. See y'all next time.
Night.